first race of the BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Cup. We're in Innsbruck in Austria, the oldest artificially iced Olympic track. And we are ready for our second and deciding heat. Our first round's 25 sliders have been cut to a field of 20. And as ever, it is tight at the top, in the middle and at the back, in fact, of our top 20. Lots and lots of very close battles. And John Morgan, a highly entertaining leaderboard with a tie for the silver medal position and just 1200s covering our top three.
Kimberly Boss, boy, she improved her start times. She's in second place after the first run. Just really, wow, look at this time. She's in second. And they're tied with, well, we aren't surprised about this. Kanakina, the best start. Well, not the best start anymore. Italian's got the best start now, but Kanakina had some problems coming down the track. She's tied for a silver medal position, but with that start that she's got, which is electric, watch out for her in this run. But you talk about a surprise. Kim Milemans, she used to start 10, 1200 slower. Today, she had the fourth best start in the first run, and she rocketed down the track to the surprise of everyone, but maybe not herself. Wow, I mean, I couldn't believe it. She's the leader. How many times a leaderboard has the Belgians and the Dutch on top, Martin, in the sliding sports?
Well, now scrambling to find the last time a Belgian won a gold medal or indeed a medal in skeleton at the World Cup level. And,
never?
Yeah, that was sort of the answer we came up with. And look how tight. Look at this battle. 10, 10, 12, 12. 100th of a second between those four athletes. Another pair tied 400ths of a second back. That's 6 athletes covered by 500ths of a second, less than the blink of a human eye. It's insanely close. And Laura Dees by 100th of a second makes the cut. Alessia Crippa does not. So the top 20 going through, and the first sled will be that of Laura Dees. Kimberly Boss will be third last. A rare opportunity to be in an emptying dressing room. And for Kim Milemans, going out last of all in a race, never happened before, not at this level. What about Tina Hermann? Well, the world champion down in 7th place. Valentina Margano, big surprise from the Italian, 5th fastest. Really good run off the quickest start of all. So we'll have to wait and see what the second heat hands us, but whatever it is going to be full of excitement. We even have a 18-year-old rookie in the field, tied for 12th, Dan Zhao of China. Mark Wood, her coach, sending me pictures of her when she was first sliding at 16, 3.5 years ago in Calgary. She looks about 12. Second and deciding heat, race 1 of the BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Cup. Martin Haven and John Morgan watching the action unfold here in Innsbruck in Austria. First of our 20 sliders, Olympic bronze medalist Laura Dees of Great Britain, 20th after the first heat.
5:41 first run, 5:42 there. This is the Olympic medalist from Pyeongchang, Korea, just 4 years ago. And Martin, she was lucky to get into this position. She only got 20th by 100th of a second. But
yeah, super tight field. Well, it's already looking a little tidier, John, so that's a bonus. Oh, there you go, as soon as I said it.
She didn't have a very good Olympic season, 17-18, other than winning that Olympic medal. So maybe that's what she's doing here. She's waiting for the limelight of the Olympic Games.
Well, listen, if lightning strikes twice again, that would just be an astonishing run of form.
66,
okay.
That's much faster, 2100s faster in the second run.
Yeah.
Martin, we saw in the men's competition, very strange to see the track get faster in the second run, like we saw in the men's competition this morning. But Laura Dees just shows us that maybe we've got a faster track to work with here.
Well, my thoughts exactly. You know, we're 4 hours later, a little bit over 4 hours later, but we've passed the middle of the day, so maybe the temperatures are getting cooler. Maybe it will speed up as well, just as it gained speed with the men.
Well, a 4 o'clock start and a 5:30 start. From 4 to 5:30 is a big difference in the temperature of the air. But here we're in the middle of the day.
And one's daylight and one's darkness. Well, it's, 4 p.m. now, so 5 after 4 Central European time. So Laura Dies is down and done. She was 1200s behind Hannah Neisser of Germany, and Neisser underperformed. I think Laura didn't perform strongly in the first heat. Hannah underperformed as well. And there's a few of those, couple of little wrinkles coming out in the first heat. This, of course, is their first proper race of the season for almost everybody.
She finished second at the event they just staged 3 weeks ago, Yanqing, China. Second. Now she's back in 19th.
Well, and that's what she's got to hang on to, isn't it? This is not the Olympic track. This is not as long as the Olympic track. It's not as challenging as the Olympic track. Ignore what happens here and remember how you made it go in Beijing. And that's what she's got to hang on to.
Well, she shouldn't be back here in 19th, but she's got a deficient start. Most of the Germans do, but the Germans are all speed merchants down the track. She's coming back now. Looks like she's speed here should be the #1 speed. 101 kilometers, that's better speed, similar speed as she had in the first run. Look at this though, Martin. She's gone from even on the exit of Kreisel to 4/10 ahead here at the bottom.
Yeah, but it was ugly there down through the labyrinth. That was another close to being over, near crash. So Laura Dies is out of the leader's box. She goes 4100s quicker though, John, 3900s than her first heat with a 54.36. But it was still mistakes all the way. And that's why she's at the bottom of the top 20, not at the top.
Well, I think this is a much better run for her second run. She could be like the Chenkova this morning in men's skeleton, goes from 17th to 10th or something. He stayed in the leader's box, but there's that little tap down below on the exit of 10.
And that was before she got into the labyrinth where it got ugly in a hurry. Not a great run from Hannah Neisser. Well, tied with the German after the first of our 2 heats was Australia's Jacqueline Narracot. Former Dutch slider with the sled is Joska. And Jackie looking to try and build on her first run start. 15th fastest start, only 18th at the bottom. Another Bromley slider.
She was 14th in Yanqing, China, so she's back a little bit behind that, but 2500's lead here. You would think that's safe, Martin, but it's all about the speed. Right here, she's got the best speed. That's because she had the best start of the 3 sleds that came down, or the second best start. 3200, she's pulling away, and let's see if she can maintain the speed here. Yeah, so this is pretty good for her to beat Hannah Neisser and Laura Dies. 2600, so might
75 first heat. What she got at the line could be 10, 15.
Wow, 6900's better.
What now?
Wow.
So there were a few throwaway first runs, weren't there, in the men's competition, and that would appear to have been exactly what happened to Jackie Narracot. 54.06 would have left her in 7th place.
We got a faster track. Boy, the track crew at Eagles, if anybody's listening, you people have done a fantastic job. Look at that skid into 8.
Yeah.
But she's still suffering from that skid here on the exit of 9. How much steering did she have to do, Martin, to get that straight? You know?
Just got a little nudged away there, but that was a much nicer run. Yeah, saying hi to hubby Don Parsons back home in Bath. Next up, Great Britain's Brogan Crowley, so the second of our British athletes. 17th after the first heat, and off a 6th fastest start. So Brogan, English, Irish and Barbadian heritage. and a former Team GB heptathlete, the same sport that Lizzie Arnold came from, incidentally.
28 start in the first run. 22. The start track's faster. The down times are faster. You don't see that normally, Martin. We're always seeing the second heat, slower times. We saw it this morning in the men's competition. We're seeing it here again. And half-second lead. If we see the fourth best time here, third, it could be pretty hard for her to throw away a half-second at the bottom.
Tell you what, if the track speeds up in the second heat of the two-man tomorrow afternoon, I should be very impressed.
Third best. She's got a lot of tap. 19. This is going to be close. Fourth best speed. Going to be right to the 100.
From 5600s up to 1600s back, Jackie Narracot moves up a spot.
Yeah, the exit of 9 to 10 wasn't in her best interests.
Still 2300, still nearly a quarter of a second better. That's the sort of improvement that athletes really get excited about, but not if those around you are improving by more. 9th, this is on the wrong side of the straightaway. She should be over on our left side to get on the take-on earlier. And with that, she has to steer more on 10. Watch her tap here. This is really, that's a big parachute right there. Here's the backside view of it. Bang. That's when you're trying to get into those last 3 corners with maximum speed. So Brogan Crowley, second place, ahead of Hannah Neiser and Laura Dees. Jackie Narracot, the leader. 5th of our 20 sleds in this second and deciding heat. Mimi Reneva of Canada was out of action with injury all of last season. So good to see her coming back with some kind of pace and trying to build up to that Olympic Games, the big target at the end of this season in Beijing in February. Good start. 5:59. It's a competitive start, but didn't have a great first run, Martin. She's pretty sloppy. Well, 16th at the start, 16th at the bottom. One of the few athletes who was in China, but she did not compete. Don't know why. A couple weeks ago, she just DNS on the start list. Might have been injured. Yeah. 1600, the second best speed. Skid there in the exit, down to 12, down to 10, excuse me. And going to need top 2 speed to maintain her spot. Third, it's going to get dicey. And the problem now is, we are very close indeed to Beijing. You've got to race, you've got to qualify, even if you're not 100% healthy. 500's back. Yeah. Who's up again? 54.38. Better be sitting watching this excitedly at home. Yeah, Mimi with that present. Very nice. that's the athletics floor athlete there, presenting after the roll. The exit here, little, so you see the runners not coming straight at us. And ducks her head, but does she hit? She might have hit right before that finish line. She did, I don't know if that was 500s, but that was some time.
Well, best wishes to BC and all those affected by all the floods.
Yeah, some horrendous flooding in British Columbia, Canada right now. Jackie Narracot leads from Mimi Reneva and Brogan Crowley. 5 down, 15 to go. Most experienced slider in the women's skeleton field, Katie Ulender of USA, the 37-year-old in her 91st World Cup race. Astonishing longevity despite off-track injuries that she's had. She even tried to make the Olympic weightlifting team, Martin, I think, for the London Games. She did in the Summer Games, yeah. Yeah, she tried, wasn't successful, but that tells you how ambitious this I think she's going to go at track cycling as well. One of the Canadian athletes has transferred to track cycling and now to paracycling. I think she was training with her, trying to make the track cycling games. 5th at the Yanqing China event a few weeks ago.
1600s lead here, speed in the left. Gonna tell us a lot. Third best speed. Watch out. 400's gonna be right to the 100. Don't think she's gonna do it. Right to the 100.
Well, a rare shot of Julenda with her heels close together. She's got such a distinctive sliding style. Even if you put her in a black uniform and a black helmet, you'd know it was Katie. Yeah.
She's gonna be angry here.
Please fix the pads, dude.
Yeah, it's a perennial deal for all the athletes, whether you're in bobsleigh or skeleton, is
put the pads all the way.
getting slowed in this tunnel without hurting yourself.
Little skid there that doesn't look like much when you're dealing with hundreds of seconds. And she just fell 2 spots, you know, 1400ths. You know, that tap there and that other one up top were definitely 1400ths.
We talked about it being a little later in the afternoon. It's still light out, but you can see all the lights are on in the track. It's getting quite dark in the shadows. Next up, Yulia Kanakina, third fastest of our starters, but the Russian down tied for 14th place with Katie Julenda. And she started 2200s quicker than the American. And all of that drifted away on the track.
Pretty inconsistent, you know, coming down the track. This first part here, she should have a better start than she did in the first run. 5:26. She had a 24. I don't think that's, she's usually right there within 2 or 300ths of her teammate, but doesn't have that explosive start we've seen in the past, Martin. 6200ths lead. That sounds like a lot, and it is. But if she doesn't do everything what you're supposed to do here, especially the 7th best speed is not a good sign. She could throw all that away. 40
race here in January, she started a 26 and a 27, but she finished in 7th place rather than where she is now, which is 7 places further back.
Only 2200ths. This isn't guaranteed, Martin. Right to the 100.
No.
She's lost a lot of time.
Not as quick as Jacqueline Narracot. Has the lead though, just.
But hey, Jacqueline, she moved up 3 or 4 spots, so
yeah,
she's happy with that. But
well, Narracot will be no worse than 14th.
Well, Julia is the only one in the field we can say came from the sport of ballet.
Yeah.
We always like discussing that. You need to be a ballet dancer to stop the sled on this track.
Well, you need to be a bit of Nureyev in the finish area, don't you? Definitely. That's
Gymnast.
For sure. Yeah. Or a human cannonball, which is what it feels like for a lot of them, I think. Excellent 9 here.
I would say she's one of the lightest athletes in the field, Martin. Don't know, her and her teammate. Well, we're going to see Nicotina, who I think is going to. It's Julia.
So next up is a tie. A third of our ties, in fact. We've just broken a tie between Julenda and Kanakina in the favour of Kanakina. Next up, Megan Henry, who is tied with 18-year-old World Cup debutante Dan Chao of China.
Didn't Henry win a bronze medal here a couple years ago?
Yeah.
I think it was her first and only medal. Well, to start, you know, she had a 36 in the first run, 42 in the first run, 34 here.
Raced only in Park City last season, didn't come to Europe. So she's kind of had a limited track time. Well, that gave her plenty of points in the bank with the US Army, for whom she also works. She gets more time off this season, little skiddy.
But she's doing well, Martin. She did well in the first heat in the bottom part of the track, maintained great speed. Third best speed here, 1400ths lead. Kanakina lost time down here. Now she's pulling away. Boy, she was late on the lap.
Absolutely wild. Just letting the sled go. Exactly right. 2100s up.
54.
That would have been a top 7 run in the first heat, John.
Megan Henry That was impressive.
5:34 in first place by.
Well, listen, Veterans Day, she was still on duty with the US Army, and here she is sliding in the World Cup with her other hat on, the crash hat.
Well, exit here of the Kreisel. Slingshot effect. You don't want to touch the wall in the entrance to 8. And she stayed off the wall, but those legs coming out like that, that's hundreds of seconds. Here, down on the bottom part of the track, that wasn't too bad. She just missed getting on the perfectly.
The track is so glossy right now. You can see every single toe drag, the mark it leaves behind, and that's friction. So the mighty Megler, that's a really good day at the office for Megan Henry. As I said, just a week ago, she was still in uniform for the US Army. Now, what about Zhao Dan? Little Dan, Mark Wood's latest project, started 10th fastest, came down in 12th place, tied with Megan Henry, her first ever World Cup race. She's not raced Europa Cup, North America's Cup or ICC. She has raced in the Youth Olympic Games and the Junior World Championships only. 4th best start.
We're pretty impressed with her in the first run, Martin. You know, she's had 1,000 trips down on her home track, which is where the Olympics will be.
Yeah. I have a feeling we're going to be impressed with her all season long. If this is what she's like as a rabbit in the headlights in her first ever day on TV, well, apart from the Youth Olympic Games, obviously, then I think she's got a lot more to offer. Ninth best speed, so she's going to drop away a little from Megan Henry at the moment.
She's going to drop 5-6 spots here, Martin. Speed, everything's not there. Wow,
it's the consistency, isn't it? She's got the speed, but she has not yet got the consistency. And don't forget, she's not raced on this track before.
4,600, not faster, slower. Everybody else has gone faster. She went a half second slower, Martin, but that's what, in your World Cup debut, that's what happens. But,
well, the only track in Europe she's raced on, the Youth Olympic Games were in St. Moritz. Last year's Junior Worlds were in St. Moritz or Winterberg? St. Moritz again, I think. So she's got very limited knowledge of European tracks. She will stay here for another week, though, John, so we should see her tidy up some of these errors before next weekend.
Look at that, skidding sideways at the fastest part of the track.
Well, listen, if that had been her first run, she would still have made the cut, and we would still have been impressed with her. So I'm looking forward to seeing her again in a week's time. Next up, Anna Feinstein from the Czech Republic, 10th after the first heat. She was in a dead heat with Jacqueline Narracot. So we had 3 dead heats in a row, 6 athletes covered by just 0.05 of a second. Great new speed suit, as ever.
Another speed merchant. Just has a suspect start time. She means she's got to hit a home run every time she comes down the track, of which she does. You know, most of the time.
And another product of the German machine. They taught her how to drive ice. And then she moved to the Czech Republic with all of that knowledge already instilled in her. 3rd best speed at the Kreisel.
6/10 back. She's not coming back from this. I don't care how well she does in the bottom, and maybe she'll prove me wrong. 2nd best speed. She might get it to 45. 51. She'll get it down to the 40s, but best speed, that's what she does. But they don't give away medals for speed. They give away medals for the best cumulative time. She drops 3 spots, and Megan Henry's spending time in the leader's box, which is a good strategy.
Well, she drops behind Jacqueline Narracot, so Jacqueline Narracot moves up ahead of Zhao Dan and Anna Feinstein and Katie Uhlaender and
Megan
Mimi
Henry.
Reniva and Brogan Crowley.
Megan Henry's now in the top 10.
Yeah, on the door. She's knocking on the door. If Jacqueline Narracot falls, then Megan Henry is in the top 10.
I wouldn't bet on that.
Well,
Someone
no. But I'm not sure I'd have bet on Marmons and Boss in the top 3 either. So my money ain't worth much at this casino. Megan Henry leads 10 down, 10 to go.
Pretty strange,
John. Very interesting top 10 still to come. So, yeah, a lot of anomalies. But, of course, everybody's relatively fresh to the ice this season. They're not well drilled. Maybe next week we'll be back to more like what the form book suggests. Then again, maybe we won't.
See the W cap on her helmet? That's World or hat World Championship Athlete Program. So she's in the military in the United States, and she gets to represent her country in an athletic sport. You see a lot of W cap athletes, especially in winter sports, biathlon, cross country, track and field in the summer, some other summer sports too. So it's a great program for the U.S. And Martin, I would say 80% of the Germans are some kind of related border patrol. The Russians are all military athletes.
Yeah.
The Italians are all police, Carbonari.
Yeah. Or, penitenziari. Okay. You can see there from the athletes who are watching it all happen down at the bottom, just what bitter enemies they all are, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty close-knit family skeleton.
Well, and all of the sliding sports, I mean, the great thing about it is, yes, in theory, you are racing your rivals, but actually, it's you against the track. What anybody else does doesn't affect what you do. And that's one of the great things about it. It's a little bit like ski racing. You know, it's just you against the clock and against the mountain. And it's the same here. It's you. If you have a great day and they don't, you'll end up higher up the order. If they have a great day and you don't, the mountain wins and they end up higher up the order. So there is that camaraderie. It's all you against the mountain. First event of the BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Cup. We're in Innsbruck in Austria, high in the Tyrol Mountains. 10 sleds to go in our second and deciding heat. Martin Haven and John Morgan watching the action as Jacqueline Narracot of Germany gets ready. Top 10, tied with Anna Feinstein of the Czech Republic after the first heat. Our current leader, though, tied for 12th after heat 1, is the USA's Megan Henry.
Jacqueline's, she's won on this track before, Martin, even with this deficient start time. She's got the 10th of 11th best start so far. But, you know, probably the tallest female athlete in the field and a world champion, a World Cup champion, multiple winner. You know, she's got a lot of podiums, including on this track, but very disappointing first run.
Yeah, I said in the first heat that she has never in her World Cup career ever been out of the top 9. She was 10th in the first heat and right now is in the red. This could be the first time she finishes outside of the top 10 in her entire career.
She's coming. I don't know.
Here she comes.
No, she's not going to overcome this.
46th World Cup race and her first finish out of the top 10. Megan Henry will be at least 10th and Jacqueline Narracot is out of the top 10 for the first time in 46 World Cup race career.
Wow.
Never lower than 9th. And there's only been one 9th place.
That's pretty disappointing for one of the top athletes in the field who just finished 4th on the longer track in Yanqing, China. But Martin, there's not too many times we say that Jacqueline Narracot, in fact, it's the first ever. She's outside that top 10, as you talked about. But, you know,
29 podiums, John, in 46 races. She's only had 17 races, including this one, where she's not been in the top 3 and never yet out of the top 10.
And Megan Henry sits in the leader's box. And here comes her teammate. There will be an United States athlete in the leader's box when this is over.
Wow, could it be a tie? That would be incredible, wouldn't it? For Kelly Curtis and Megan Henry.
5:42 in the first run, 5:43 there. Most athletes are improving their starts.
100th away. She's got to really focus on the drive now because she wants to stay in the top 10. and move on up if she can. There were some slender gaps.
U.S. Air Force Cyber Security. That's her background.
Yeah, too clever
Military
to be
athlete.
doing this nonsense. She
Yeah.
could sort out our computers, though.
She could help me out.
John, an 8-year-old is what we need with that, with the wrong side of 25.
Fourth best speed. She's going to have to improve 1600s back. I don't know.
How
She's gonna
close
have
is she going to be? Is she going to be ahead of Jacqueline Narracot at the line?
It is. What a good comeback. Wow.
200.
Great
Wow.
comeback on the bottom. Kelly Curtis.
All right, when was the
Wow.
last time the USA had 2 skeleton sliders in the top 10 in a women's race?
Had to go
That's
back to
not been for a while.
Noelle Pikus-Pace and Katie Eulander.
Well, I
That
mean,
would have
and
been
that's what
before
we're
the
talking about. That's a
2014
decade. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So, hey, she flew on the bottom, Martin. She was
Yes.
in deficit red all the way down, and she really flew on the fast part of the track.
All right, we'll
This
just
wasn't
point out
perfect.
now that the 2 US athletes who currently lie first and second with 8 to go have a total of 11 World Cup starts between them, only 2 of which are for Kelly Curtis. So we're talking 2 relatively inexperienced sliders in the top 2 with only 8 sleds remaining. First of whom, Canada's Jane Channel. If you Google Jane Channel and brooms, you will learn a lot more about her relationship with this Innsbruck track. We always say those brooms standing there at the top are her fan club. In fact, most of them seem to have spread out down the track.
Top
Let's see
4
what she's got.
start.
900s in hand over Kelly Curtis from the first heat. The sun has set, the temperature is dropping. Is the track going to continue to get faster?
The start track's a little slower. She's 300 slower. And Martin, she did not make the World Championships member for the Canadian program in Whistler, which is her home track, which where she's from, Vancouver. Very disappointing for her. Family and friends were going to be there. Looks like she's taking the vengeance out on that on this season. 4,400s up there. That's 4,200s. Can't believe she's going to throw away all that time here on the bottom, but there's been some strange things happening down here on the bottom part of this track. 36.
It's a neat-looking
best
run.
speed. Got to be enough to be the leader.
Should be, shouldn't it? Kelly Curtis in second place. That's a big run. That is a big run.
53.92. Martin, 3,300s better than her first run.
Well, we've seen a few quarter-second improvements, but a full third of a second, that is a big, big slice of time. That's the voice of Tuffy Latour. And again, great form as ever from Jane Channel. And that was a
good lines there.
great-looking
No
run.
skidding there. But there's why she's got 3/10 better right there. That's as perfect as you can get.
Now then, is that going to move her up the order? 8th place after the first of our 2 heats. Next up, Tina Hermann came out of the finish tunnel, cursing the living daylights out of the start groove that not only spat half the men across the track this morning, but half the women this afternoon as well, and she really suffered with it. I'm sure there were some fairly strident words when she got back to the top for the jury and the track workers. Let's see if it's any better this time.
Won her first World Championships on this track in 15. Won the World Championships again last year. Gives up time at the start.
Again.
And Martin, she won the test event in Yanqing, China 3 weeks ago.
You've got to think on any track other than this, she's among your favorites.
Well, this has got to be a favorite track to win the World Championships here at 15. But Martin, she just went backwards, 37 to 34. If this pace, she's going to drop 3 spots behind the Americans. But here she comes.
Wow.
Yeah, here she comes. She's going to get this down to the teens.
Oh, look at the big steering, though, going on.
Look at the speed.
I mean, when do you ever see her with a knee driven into the sled to get control?
She could catch Chanel on the bottom. She could catch her here. going to be
This
close.
is going to be close. Very close.
Oh,
no,
God.
doesn't make it. Jane Channel moves up at the expense of the 4-time world champion.
Keep your camera on here. Watch how angry this young lady gets. This is not in her agenda.
No, not a happy camper. Well, she got kicked out of the start groove again. Look at that. Immediately.
You see a lot of that, though. Boy, she's really, you could see this coming off the toes there. A lot of friction.
And then here, watch the knee.
Yeah, she's not perfect here either.
Yeah. Dragging the toe and steering hard. You almost never see that from Tina Hermann. And does that mean that the track has changed more than she allowed for or less?
Listen.
She changed her setup maybe between the runs. She was just saying hi to everybody back home. She was in a better frame of mind. What about Janine Flock? Well, slipped her disc, she said, a couple of weeks ago, which of course was eventually the bugbear for Matthias Guggenberger. He had a number of back injuries. So she's
now
not
it's time to get serious.
Her normal self. Yeah.
19 starts.
5:56. She's probably not going to get much better than that.
56, yeah, 53. So she's you know, she was flying on the bottom in that Austrian shortcut.
Well, listen, she's starting about a 10th slower than she was in January, John, and that's a legacy of that injury.
Well, 1700s to 1300s, second best speed. Look at the form. Needs to be perfect here to have a chance to medal on her home track. Down to 5. Should be the top speed here in the exit. Right here. That's not perfect. That's good speed. She's going to be the leader, Martin, but I don't know if this is good enough for a medal. She needs to probably get away to 25 or 2800s to have a chance to win a medal.
Yeah, because she was nearly 1500s out of the medals.
There's 30.
Wow.
There's the Austrian shortcut.
Second fastest trip down the track we have seen today. That's exactly equal to what our second place tie did in the first heat. That's not enough. Everybody is getting quicker in the second heat. It's good, but it's not enough. It's only 1300s better, John. We've seen quarter of a second, 0.3 of a second improvements from some of the sliders.
This wasn't perfect, Martin. Boy, she was in the afterburner stage down in the labyrinths. Look at this. This is, that's a 10.
Yep. And she's ruined the brand new chrome on the helmet as well. So, not a great start to the season, having an injury so early. 5 sleds to go. Janine Flock and Jane Channel are our top 2 currently. First race of the BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Cup. Innsbruck in Austria, top 5 still to come. This is Valentina Margaglio of Italy, fastest starter in the field. Just 28 years old. 4th place finish here, the last race of the year in January. That was her best ever run in Eagles. Can she match it?
5:21, not as good as her first heat. Martin, she was on the start list for the race in Yanqing, but did not compete DNS, so I don't know what happened there. But here in this race, half-second lead, you think it'd be safe, but the hometown favorite Janine Flock down there in the finish, she flew on the bottom, 56 to 56. That's a good sign. So she's not bleeding any more time. Clean. She needs right here. Here's the pivotal part of the track. Nice. 8th best speed. So that she's going to be down in the 30s or 40s. 30s.
3,400.
Should be enough, Martin. It's going to be close, though, but she should be enough. This is impressive.
Top 5 run. Wow. Yes, it will be a top 5 guaranteed. 53.81.
Martin, let's think back. What Italian female do we know in our careers ever finished top 5 in a World Cup skeleton race? Come on.
I think you're looking at the only one.
I think this is it. I think this is the best finish ever by a female Italian. Hope I'm wrong, but this is, you know, this is.
Oh, how close to disaster was that?
That's why she was slow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she was 500 slower. That could have been it. Martin, this young athlete here is coming on. I mean, she's only got 3 years of sliding. And with that type of start time, you're a female athlete out there that you've got some great athletic skills, can run, and you like to go fast. 3 years right there.
Last year we had 3 races here. She was 5th, 6th, and 4th. Currently leading with 4 to go. What about this woman, though? Elena Chenkova, 21-year-old 100-meter hurdler from Moscow, finished 4th in the World Championships in Altenburg. Her best World Cup result has been here. It was 7th place last season.
And she was 7th in Yanqing just a few weeks ago. Really haven't seen much of her, Martin, and she's had a career spanning a number of years.
Yeah, debut in the World Cup in 2017, but she was sort of the pick to go into a race if some of the others were training up for the World Championships elsewhere, and that's what's been her lot. But now she's here on merit. And look at this run.
1100. Nice, she's coming back. She posts the top 2 or 3 speed here, she's got a chance.
It's not about the start with her, although that's quick. She drives a good race. Look at this.
4.
She's gonna grab it at the line.
It's gonna be close. She's got a chance.
Be a tie. Oh,
600s. Still, listen, we're seeing names we've never seen in the top 5.
Yeah.
The Italian, the Russian. We've never seen these athletes up here like this, Martin, except her World Championship 4th last year.
Look at the smile for Elena Chenkova. Just out of the medals in Altenburg in the Worlds, and now another medal potentially could come her way. 1 slip from the remaining 3 athletes, and she's on the podium.
Good lines. Perfect lines. Impressive.
And John, this is from a slider in only her 7th World Cup. That looked like a hugely experienced drive. All right, 3 to go. And if 2 of the remaining 3 finish on the podium, it will be a momentous day. So the first of our 3, 3rd place after the first heat, I beg your pardon, tied for 2nd after the first heat. 900s ahead of Elena Chenkova is the Netherlands' Kimberly Bos. Finished in 3rd place here in January. And she has had 2 silver medals on this track as well. She is not unfamiliar with the podium in Innsbruck.
5:31 in run 1, 5:33. Good little snake through the curve 1 and 2. See her speed. 5th best speed in consideration of the 2nd best start.
3rd in last year's World Cup overall. After the previous season, she could barely walk, never mind run, and hardly made the cut with a series of injuries. 2nd best speed, has the lead by a whisker, but is creeping away.
Needs to be perfect here. She is. The speed on the left, 4th best speed, only 300s to play with. 900, she's pulling away. This is going to be a medal for the unbelievable.
Torreira Chenkova came very strong to the line, but she does. Fastest run of the day so far. Big thumbs up from her coach.
1500's better run.
Yes.
Kimberly Bos, what a way to start the season.
In Innsbruck for Kimberly Bos. Unbelievable. Well, the hat and the sled being handed to her by the Dutch chef de mission for the Olympic Games in Beijing, Carl Verheyen. He is here this weekend to watch her progress. That's not a bad day to knock it out of the park with at least a bronze medal.
Perfect lines. Boy, her sliding, her start times have improved. Her sliding, look at her, she knew it too. What a feel.
Fastest run of the day for Kimberly Bos. Strut waffles all round. Okay, tied for 2nd, and maybe less of a surprise to see her here, is Russia's Elena Nikitina. Well, Nikitina,
with the start advantage she's got, Martin, this is her race to lose. She should blow everybody away with the 8/1000ths advantage at the start. 17 in the first run. Everybody's going slower, say 18 or 19.
But tied with Kimberly Boss.
11.
Right, 11. Wow,
That ties the start record. That
gives her
I knew she was off it.
advantage.
That's unbelievable. I knew in the first heat she should have been down lower than that, but wow.
Tied
3,500
her own start record. And that goes back to January 2016. What form she's in now. But look at the speed.
Only the 9th best speed, though, Martin. This doesn't mean the start is irrelevant. That speed, 28. If she doesn't have top 7 speed here, she's in trouble. 12th best speed.
Too much control. Too much friction from the runners.
1700's 9th best speed.
She's got enough. She's got enough. She will be the leader with 1 to go. She must have enough. She does.
She does.
All right, so she leads with 1 to go. So either Elena Nikitina is going to be victorious again here. A track where she already has 4 of her 12 World Cup wins. Fully a third of all her World Cup wins have come on this track. That's what starting does for her here.
Martin, you think the start's important in this sport? 5'11"?
Well, not for anybody else, but for her, she can ride the start.
She gives away time coming down the track, but hey, her teammate this morning, Alexander Trechikov, the Russian rocket, he won. He doesn't have the best start like she does.
Yeah, they are dialed into this track. Trechikov has 4 career wins here, so does she. So, 1 slider left. Kim Milmans, the last in the changing room in a World Cup race. A first time ever that has happened for her. Now, what does that do?
5:25. Martin, we're not supposed to root for anybody. We're supposed to be neutral here, but I gotta say I'm rooting for Kim.
Always root for the underdog. You always want to see the excitement. 5:31, okay. Well, that's sort of where
that's
she's
600 slower.
January. Yeah.
She's 2 tenths. She's 2 tenths slower.
He's focusing on the drive
at the start. 1900
It's all going to be in the final 100 meters. If she can bring this back, it'll be right at the end of the run. Better speed than Nikitina at the Kreisel.
Little drift. 17, she's bringing it back, but not enough. She's going to need the #1 speed here on the left to have a chance to overcome this deficit. 10th, now she's going to be dealing with just finishing on the podium.
Is she going to be in the medals? 9th best speed. It's her or Kimberly Boss for second. Nikitina wins it, and Kimberly Boss takes second. 3rd for Kim Milmans. So
still a great result to see.
Yeah, great result for her.
The Italian in 5, the Dutch in 3rd, or 2nd, the Belgians in 3rd.
Yeah.
It's just a great leaderboard, Martin.
Well, her first ever World Cup medal for Kim Milmans. Previous best, 3 5th positions. And her previous best on this track, 11th place last season.
She was electrifying.
Season before, January 2020.
She was electrifying in the first heat, Martin. Didn't have that same finish. 5th best time in the second run.
Yeah. So there is your winner, Elena Nikitina, her 5th World Cup victory in Innsbruck, her 13th World Cup victory in total. She starts the season with a win. She had 2 wins here last year. She won last year's race, the last World Cup race here in January.
Martin, when was the last time we saw Netherlands and Belgium on the podium?
Yep, this will be the first time ever. So Elena Nikitina is the winner. Kimberly Boss and Kim Milmans, what a great podium. And Elena Chenkova, Russia 1st and 4th. Valentina Margalio 5th. Janine Flock carrying an injury in 6th still. And look at Kelly Curtis and Megan Henry. That's great for the USA as well. And moving up the order, Jacqueline Narracot, 18th after the first run, tied. She moves up to 13th spot, claiming a few big scalps on the way. rookie Zhao Dan of China. 18 years old, 19th place in her first ever World Cup start. But victory, as it did in December, as it did in January, goes to Elena Nikitina of Russia. The only time she didn't win here last year, she was in the silver medal position, I beg your pardon. She didn't run in the second race here, the two-heat race last December. She won the snowed off, or the wind-affected first heat race here in December last year. So Nikitina, 2 races here last year, 2 wins, and her first race of the season is another Innsbruck victory. I guess this will always have a sweet place for her as the place that she took her first ever World Cup win, and she now has more wins in Innsbruck than anyone else. That concludes the skeleton action. Saturday, women's monobob in the morning, 2-man bobsleigh in the afternoon, and Sunday, women's bobsleigh in the morning and the 4-man bob in the afternoon. Lots more action to come from Innsbruck. But for now, from John Morgan, me, Martin Haven, and the IBSF TV crew, thank you for joining us. Bye for now.